To my channel. So today I'm showing you how to make this card. So this is a recreation of one of my friends, Lana's card, so I will link that in my description for you guys. So I'm taking the Colorado Craft Company Purfume Bouquet, and I'm taking my standard 6x4 inch card base, and then I'm taking some watercolored cardstock. So I'm not 100% great at watercoloring, but I am trying. So I'm using Brilliance Galaxy Gold with some clear gloss embossing powder. So I'm just going to trace around my card base so I know the size of the piece of paper that I need. So I am going to recreate this card again with a different color combination, but instead of doing a full panel of watercolor, I am going to cut out my image at the end and just see the difference and see which one I prefer. I'm also going to change obviously the color of the inks that I use as well. So I'm going to cut my panel out so it fits better in my stamp platform. I do think I need to buy a new stamp platform, but so I'm just applying my embossing powder to the ink. Now the great thing about Brilliance ink is it stays damp quite a long time, so it's perfect for embossing on. So obviously this is before I've heat set it, and I'm just taking a watercolor paintbrush. So I have 2 sets of these. I get them from Poundland. You get 2 for £1. You get a thick one and then this little thin one, and I just thought this was great for, you know, getting into places to prevent anything, you know. So I didn't even actually prep my cardstock. I didn't use my anti-static powder tool. I just stamped straight onto it, and I was expecting to have a lot more like fallout, if that makes sense. So quite proud of myself for that. So I'm now going to heat set that off screen, so when I come back in you'll just see what it looks like when I've heat set it. And I just love the glisten to the card. I just think that looks amazing on its own. Like, you didn't have to colour it in and it would look great. So I'm using Distress inks. I'm using Spun Sugar, Warm Lipstick, and Picked Raspberry. So all I'm doing is I'm applying a bit of the ink onto an acrylic block, and then I'm taking another one of my watercolor paintbrushes just with some water. And as you can see, Spun Sugar is very light and you can hardly see it. So I did go back in a couple of times with a couple of layers just to get the effect that I wanted. But the embossing powder really helps, especially when it comes to, you know, watercoloring, because it gives you like a border, I guess, to stop your watercoloring running out of the lines. So yeah, as you can see, I brought it up to the camera so you can see it closer. Obviously the more layers you add, the better the color is. So as you can see, I'm just bringing more color in, and I just love how this card turned out. So the first time I recreated a card, which was watercoloring, it didn't go too well, but now it just seems to work a lot better. So I am obviously learning something, like, you know, but yeah, also if the background just sounds different, I am editing this at my dad's instead of at my mom's in my attic space. And also my front door is open because I'm waiting for a parcel to come. Whether or not it comes today is another question though, so yeah. So I'm just going to keep repeating the process with the other colors. And then for the leaves, I did bring in Bamboo, which is a Memento ink, I think. Sorry guys. So I am still struggling to sleep, but I am getting better. So yeah, so I'm going to insert some music, and I'll also speed the process up just a little bit, and I'll talk to you guys when the next steps are in progress. finished colouring in, I am now just going to adhere the panel to my card base. So I'm taking a tape runner from Home Hobby. I actually love this tape runner. And the best thing about this is actually where you can actually fold the tape runner over. So as you can see at the top, I have a bit of like overhang, and the best thing about this is literally you can just fold it over and it doesn't affect anything. I did try and line this up and I still managed to screw that up, so I really am very bad at this. So yeah, I need to practice this, I think. But yeah, so I just trimmed my card just that little bit just because obviously it didn't look great. So now I'm taking some Taylor White Expressions Fine White Detailed embossing powder with my DOVECRAFT embossing ink with some black cardstock. And I'm just stamping the happiest of birthdays to you sentiment from the set. So this is actually a birthday card for my Aunt Dorothy. So her birthday is actually on Valentine's Day. So when this video goes up, it is actually her birthday. So, you know, this also looks great as well for Valentine's Day because it's flowers, like, so it kind of works for both. But just adding the sentiment happy birthday gives it that extra, you know, reason for it, I guess you could say. So I am trying to find a better embossing powder, especially a white one, and I think the one that I see the most is probably Hero Art, so I am looking into purchasing that. But yeah, so I'm just gonna adhere my little strips. I just cut this out with some scissors, and I propped it up with some foam adhesive. I'm now bringing in bubbles from Little Things by Lucy's just to add some dimension to my card. It also kind of looks like little water droplets, so you could totally skip that step, you don't have to do it. But yeah, I really love how that just added that little bit of an effect. Also, you have to take into consideration that when you apply water with distress inks or distress oxides, they do react. So the color when you first apply it will not dry the same color, if that makes sense. So just take that into consideration. But yeah, I absolutely love how this card ended. I think my aunt's definitely gonna love it. But yeah, so I am gonna recreate it. So there will be another picture posted. And if you guys follow me on my Instagram, you'll see what colors I use because I tend to add them into my hashtag list. So definitely go and check my Instagram post out. So I'm bringing in a white gel pen. Now I really should have waited for all my layers to dry because my pen seems to like disappear and fade. So maybe the day after I filmed this, which was the 26th, so I might just add some more white to it. But yeah, I love how this card ended. I love the fact that Lana was okay with me recreating it. So this will get posted in my Recreations card club as well, so that is also linked in my description for you. Now I was gonna only add the Spectrum No Sparkle to this little bit here, but I thought, you know, I need something to draw your attention to the white portion of this as well. So I ended up just adding it to the entire white bottle portion, and I think that just adds that little bit extra to the card. So I think I've used this stamp maybe 4 or 5 times now, and I definitely recommend purchasing this if you can think of different ways to use it. It is quite an expensive stamp, I have to admit. I think it was like £15. And the coordinating die is something like £20, so it is quite expensive. But if you're going to use it for a lot of things like Mother's Day, birthdays, get well cards, Valentine's Day, you name it, then I think it's definitely worth the money. But so that is the card. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, follow me over on my socials, and tag me anytime you recreate a card because I'd love to see what you do. And I will see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe and happy crafting.